The Director of Athletics for the UIL, Dr. Susan Elza, joins us in studio. Hi, Doc.
Well, hello.
It's been a minute. I think I guess I saw you at state.
Yeah.
But you were.
Seems like yesterday, though.
Yeah, but you were running all over the place at state championship games.
I mean, there's just a lot of people to talk to.
Yeah, you're popular.
Well, not me. I mean, there's just you got questions to get answered.
Yeah. Well, and especially I would say this year with everything going on, and we've got a few different questions. If you've got some questions for the UIL Athletic Director, Dr. Susan Elza, you can put them in the comments. We'll get to a few of them here in a moment. This is Helpful
And
Honda.
I may or may not answer.
Yeah, we'll see. Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. Do we have a read for that, Pickle?
Oh, yeah. Keep talking.
We're doing great. We're fulfilling our sponsorship obligations. My first question, do you want to do the Helpful Honda read?
The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your Helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more.
Dr. Elsa's showing up. She's like, you guys they pay you for this?
I mean,
allegedly.
I just want to do this every day.
Hey.
Listen, we
like
usually, that seat is usually open, so
Yeah.
you can just hang out whenever.
Yeah.
My first question is the most important one, which is, can I have the alignments?
Let me think.
Just if you want, I'll tell you what.
Ashley,
If you want to
Pickle,
give it
should
to
I?
me,
You can give them to me and not him if that
Okay,
makes you feel
yeah.
better.
Okay, don't do that.
You know, probably what I need to say is how much I value my paycheck, and
That's fair.
you know,
I can respect
And that would be in doubt.
day-to-day living is really important to me, and
Mhm.
you know, paying for my house and
Yeah, that-
groceries and gas money. So the answer is no.
Because that's the thing is and I think there's a question of like, why is it such a tightly kept secret? Because this is like, there's a couple things that are pretty sacrosanct for you guys, and this is like the one. It's like, nope.
This is y'all's magazine cover.
Exactly
To
right.
put it in our
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
And it strikes me, the more I've thought about it, I guess the whole point of it is it just comes down to one of the kind of core values of the UIL, which is like, we're going to treat everybody the same. Everybody gets it at the exact same time. It doesn't
Sure.
matter if you are, if you're the biggest school, the small school, the richest school, the poorest school. You're going to get it all at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, it's been 7 years. This is my 7th year at UIL. It went so fast, and the majority of my career was spent up here in DFW. But I know the one thing that, you know, you come in and you're kind of scared of it because you're hearing all this stuff on the outside and how top secret it is, and you're like, what are they going to tell me on this secretive stuff? And I'm going to tell you, Dr. Braddock and Dr. Harrison, they, by no uncertain terms, are you not clear on what will happen if that's leaked out. And I mean, seriously, it's a, you know, for UIL and the history of UIL, it is, you know, one of the best kept secrets, and there's a reason for it, because you don't want anybody to get any sort of competitive advantage by having some knowledge. You know, it's hard enough for schools to get games and things like that, and then if they did find out, you know, any secret with it, because everybody thinks it's about competitiveness and it's about that geographic location. And, you know, there's so many opinions that, oh, you could have gone east and west instead of north and south. And it's interesting. So, yeah, it's you know, you get in there and you're a little nervous even being in there because you don't want anything to slip or say anything just in conversation to somebody like you and Pickle. I don't want to slip anything with you and
Yeah,
Pickle.
exactly. Well, exactly right.
Just ignore the microphone in front of your face. That's all we're saying.
If you just want to go to her and tell her where Lano is, she'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's all she needs.
that's all I care about.
That's what she wants to know. I know. I know.
Is it, you know, I know that every, you know, and you've been on the other side of it because as a longtime athletic director, you know, you've been on the other side of it, so you know the emotions and the feelings for coaches and administrators around the state right now as we're 6 days away from UIL realignment. Yeah. Now on the other side, do you get that same kind of feel? What are your emotions this time of year?
You know, I think you're just equally as excited. But you know, most of the things we aren't going to hear is not going to be applause. It's going to be, why did you do that to us? Yeah. And so you are, you know, you go back and look at it and review it. And we're doing that as a staff. And, you know, even myself personally going into next week, I mean, you know where the hot conversations are going to be, and we're not trying to make them hot. I mean, our maps change, schools change. We add, you know, a ton of new schools each alignment. They drop, they go up, they go down. And it just completely changed the landscape of the map and who they're competing against. And it's just, I don't know. It's I feel anxiety over it. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
It's because it's going to be a tough conversation with your colleagues when they say to you, what were you thinking, you know?
Well, because
you do talk them through it. And we have an appeal process, as y'all know.
Yeah, but the other thing is, you know, it strikes me that, like, the reason that they are the reason that they're this excited is because it matters to them.
Yeah.
It's something that's super personal. And for those who don't know, I guess it's probably worth laying out. You guys just do it blind. You literally, I'm fairly certain, I've never been in the room. There's literally pins on the map. You don't know who those pins are, and you're like, all right, let's make this work. It's done basically blind, correct?
Yeah, it's blind. I mean, we have a mapping software that we use, and that mapping company takes all of our schools, drops them in pins. Once we give them the data on, once we make those cuts and we know what conference they're going to be in, or D1, D2, they drop those pins, and they're literally just dots on a map. At some point, there's an acronym added, but I'm going to tell you the acronyms don't always match what you think would be the acronym for it. So you truly do not know what schools you're looking at till the very, very end. And, we're running mileage. We're running time travel. I mean, so it's a very comprehensive process that's become more efficient now that we're using the mapping software. But, we do not know who the schools are usually until the very, very end.
Well, I imagine that from your perspective, that there has to be a sense of tension for you, because that on Thursday you could do the best job in the world. You could do it perfectly, and somebody's ox is getting gored.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. So I imagine there has to be that kind of tension, that you're feeling right now.
Well, I don't know if I look at it as ox is getting bored. I mean, wow.
To each their own.
Sounds intentional.
But somebody's going to end up on the short. Somebody's going to get something that's going to make them upset.
I could sit here right now and think in my head of some that people are going to go, wow, that is a tough district, and that's when that ox feels like it got gored. So and I mean, I think that's part of what makes it exciting, and I think the fact that we do it every 2 years is, our change and growth in this state is just there's so much, it ebbs and flows in certain areas of the state, and it's I don't know. Yes, I mean, there's going to be some controversy. There always is, and it's not necessarily any controversy that we caused. I mean, it's just people are going, why would you put all those schools together? That's a tough district, and you're like, it's geographic location. Look at it, So it's tough.
Well, and the other thing is, we especially, I don't know if you know the Dave Campbell's Texas Football. We're a magazine that covers football in the state.
I've heard about it.
Okay,
I've heard about it.
But it's also worth remembering that you guys are drawing alignments not just for football. You guys are doing it for basketball and volleyball and sports across the landscape. And so while we get in the bubble and we're gonna break these things down on Thursday from a football perspective, you guys have to think about those other sports as well to make sure that you're doing right by them as well.
Yeah, so we do the first three: volleyball, football, and basketball. The question was asked the other day, why do we not do them all at once? And number one, I don't think time-wise we could, be able to start this process in October and have it finished by February with all the maps that we have.
There's not enough bandwidth
No,
there.
just not.
Mentally.
I mean, we wouldn't. And because we don't want the other sports to feel slighted in any way, and y'all know that's how it goes. I mean, there's always that comparison. You're doing football, and you're not in basketball and volleyball, and you're not doing the other sports, but we also have that appeals process that becomes really important. So if you did all those map and the appeals are granted, it'd be, fruit basket turnover going back to change all those other districts. So we wait to the release. We'll start those other maps, not next week, but the week after. And our goal is to have those out by March 1st, somewhere between March 1st and March 15th. Somewhere we've got state basketball at that time too.
Yeah, because, you guys got nothing going on these days.
We don't.
Especially not in the spring.
Yeah.
No championship events.
Yeah, I'll tell you. That's, everybody feels the spring.
All right. I want to go back to July because it's a fun topic for us nincompoops in the media. But for the first time, I believe it was Dr. Harrison at THSCA Coaching School and Convention mentioned Class 7A.
Yes.
Yes. Can you give we know it's not coming for those who know it's not coming this alignment.
Yeah.
We know
Don't be looking for a 7A.
Don't look for 7A. That's not a surprise. But do you guys have a timeline in mind? What's the status there?
And he was just interviewed on this last week, and I was asked a question off of that too. So will we have 7A in 24-26, that next alignment? And, we've got, our processes, and most people do, that we have a legislative council made up of 32 superintendents, and we meet twice a year. That council will be key in anything that we change in the alignment process. So as soon as we finish this one, we'll get together as a team, as a staff, and come up with ideas. And there are some ideas out there that are kind of floating around with the 7A and what it'll look like. But the best way to put it, we are so compressed in those 500 schools roughly that we have in 5A and 6A that it's causing a lot of issue in 4A. There's a lot of disparity from top to bottom. And even when you look at 3A was a little better this year, 2A has quite a bit of disparity. So if we do something creative at the top, and everybody in their head has 7A, it's just all the big schools.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all, we don't have enough big schools, So
and to that point, not to interrupt, but like not only are there not enough big schools, but the big schools you're talking about, they ain't close to each other at all.
No. And so there are some creative things. The good thing about our staff and the way that Dr. Braddock and Dr. Harrison lead us is that everybody comes to the table and you're going to throw your ideas out there, and then we're just going to start cobbling it down. And there's a point where we would have to take it to our council, and we really only have 3 council meetings before the next alignment starts.
Wow.
And,
wow, I
That's
didn't even
wild,
think about that. Yeah.
So it's that part on our end becomes a little stressful. I think Dr. Harrison said it best the other day. We may need one more alignment before we can get to the 7A, because like I said, that compression that we've got, I mean, you could, if you look at it, and I know y'all analyze it in great depth, but we could take that 5A number and add more schools, but we would have like 15 team districts, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
I mean, so those are some of the things that we've got to figure out. How do we resolve this, and what does the 7A look like?
I want to go back to the 2021 football season, where, and I believe we talked about this briefly on Bally, but I have not slept a lot since then, so
Yeah.
you'll have to, forgive me if I ask the
She
same
making
question.
baby excuses.
Oh,
Nicole.
Lord have mercy. All the time.
Anyway, all that's to say, we go back to 2020, which was a season I think everyone is happy happened and never wants to do again.
Yeah.
I
for
believe
sure.
around here we estimated about between 11 and 12% of the games got canceled. This
Yeah.
year we haven't run the numbers quite yet, but significantly fewer cancellations.
Sure.
From your perspective, when you take a look at the 2021 football season, I have to imagine you guys are just overall pretty pleased with the way that things went.
Oh man, I mean, that year that we got through it in 20, I mean, it was a celebration. I mean, y'all were celebrating, we were celebrating,
Yeah.
the schools were celebrating. I mean, I'm so proud of our coaches. That's really who carried those seasons, and our administrators and athletic directors and everybody. And so last year we were raising our hands in victory on that second state championship, if you remember back. And this year, I mean, it was a full year. I mean, had some hardships for some teams, but nothing that completely disrupted the season like the previous year. And so to me, this year was even a bigger celebration. And then on top of that, our games were just incredible.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was fun. I don't know how y'all look back on it, but I don't know, it all made us all better, and we had to learn how to do things a different way, but we didn't give up on what we believed in.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that I will remember the stress.
Yeah.
I'll remember kind of the thinking of like, okay, how in the world are we going to do this?
Yeah.
But then I'll also remember getting to the end of it and being like, the season's over. It happened. We did it.
Yeah.
Great. Oh my gosh, can we please be better in
Oh, yeah.
2021?
And again, I just go back. I remember when we were trying to figure out, and Dr. Harrison was very key in that. I mean, he was having to kind of take the lead with just some of the governmental involvement in what we were doing, both with TEA and at the governor's level. And we were, you know how it is. You want it to happen so bad. You're almost fighting internally for the same thing, but it doesn't feel that way. It was like we were fighting against each other. And I only say that to say that's how bad we wanted it. But the one thing I know is very common for us at UIL was if we can get this in the hands of our schools, namely our coaches, and be very prescriptive, we're going to keep kids safe. And if y'all remember all of our protocols and everything that went with that. And I mean, I'm a coach at heart, and I knew how seriously they were going to take anything that we issued, because they knew the season could be removed if they didn't follow those protocols. And I mean, it could bring a tear to your eye when you really think about it, because that's how much kids mean to coaches.
Yeah.
Well,
most
and it was
certainly.
wild too, because like obviously being in locker rooms all the time or hearing the coaches talk about like, oh, be adaptive, be ready to respond to things.
Yeah.
Then it was kind of like we felt like we even got slammed with that, just being a part of the media with it going, oh shoot, yeah, well, we can figure it out. Like we don't know how we're gonna get there, but we can do
crazy.
it.
It was crazy, and y'all's coverage is always just second to none, and it was awesome. And
You gotta stop.
your eyes.
Yeah, don't say nice things about
Okay.
I know.
Just me. You can say,
you're heading
know.
over.
Pickle's awesome.
You're heading over to.
Peppers,
Thank
there you go.
We need more of this energy in here all the time.
I'm outnumbered.
Yeah.
You're heading over to DFW clinic after
Yeah,
this, right?
I'm gonna swing by there and hang out with some of the coaches. And I'd come up here for a personal deal last night, and when I was here, I never missed that DFW clinic. When I was in schools, I've had a long connection with Joe Martin, and I always went over there because I was hiring coaches.
Oh, yeah.
If you're gonna meet coaches, that's the best place to go. And when I got to UIL, I can't come every year. It's not always possible for me to come just because of the schedule that we keep. And I missed it last year. I was like, I'm going to at least come by this year, and I'm looking forward to it. There's some really good speakers and just fun fellowship with some of the best football coaches in the nation.
We're going to be over there. How many times do you think you're going to be asked about alignment? Is it
Well-
every conversation be like, hey, you can
Is that like the icebreaker? Like they come up.
Hey, you can just DM it to me. I won't tell anybody.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
happened
mean?
to see a few coaches last night, and they were like, so. I mean, you're like, I know
Well,
what.
the other thing is it's a massive data dump. There's no way that even if you're close personal friends
Yeah.
with that coach,
Yeah.
you're not like, yeah, I remember what district you're in and how many
You know
which
what's
teams
funny
are in.
is you're realistic about that. I don't think they are. Because because sometimes I'm telling you, going into this final part, you do study it a lot because you want to have it where I know where these schools are, and there's no way. I mean, it is tough. Over 1,200 schools in football. I mean, it's tough.
Okay.
But yeah, they're gonna. I am going to get ambushed over
Over
there. I
there.
know it's going to happen.
You're welcome.
We'll watch it happen live. We'll
Yeah.
be there.
I'm going to City of the Palm in Harlingen to their clinic tomorrow. Same thing will happen. Dr. Bright's going to be there. But
Well, and in here at DFW, there are fewer questions in my read on the situation. Fewer questions as to where teams are going and how things will be than in the Rio Grande Valley. So you might even get it more the City of
for sure.
Palms.
Oh, for sure.
Might be interesting. One last question. Do you just want to send me the alignments right now?
Man,
If you want,
I don't know.
I will.
Let me think about that. Hell no. I don't.
Good.
I mean, I had to say that.
If
I
you
know
have,
that's a real bad word. But
and
it needs to
so,
be said.
and I want to make sure I get this right. If people have complaints about the alignments, it's ashley.pickle@texasfootball.com.
Okay,
right?
now-
there you
Okay,
go.
that's right.
No,
It's ashley.pickle.
I don't know. You can give out.
I can
peppers.
turn off his mic, so if we just want to talk
Yeah,
here,
for
that's
sure.
perfectly
I'm
fine.
Cool. I'm cool with that.
She's Dr. Susan Elza. She's the athletic director of the UIL. Good luck the next week.
Thank you.
I'm
We'll
sure
take
it'll be a
luck.
little bit stressful,
Yeah, it will be.
but I'm sure it'll go great, and we appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's awesome here. It's the first time I've been here.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
That
You haven't
is
been to New
wild, yeah.
Digs.
Yeah.
So now you know where we are, and if you ever want to host a show, I'm happy to take a day off.
Yeah.
Please.
Awesome.
Begging
Thank
you,
y'all.
please.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.